This week on Muscle Cars and Hot Rods, we're going to get all the stainless steel lines running our 1934 Ford Coupe project. Then we're going to set the body on the chassis, so stick around and check it out. Hey Victor, say cheese! Okay, we're back on the 34 Ford project and we're putting in our stainless steel line. Let's see what's happening. Okay, this is the tubing bender I use. It does everything from 3/16 up to 3/8 inch. And this is that tool I showed you in a few videos ago that flares our line. Here's a length of the stainless steel line, and you can see it next to the mild steel. Nice and shiny, good stuff. I think this is good for, this is the 304, which is good for a temperature down to like negative 200 degrees or something like that. Far superior to anything that you need on a hot rod, but cool nonetheless. Okay, here you can see some of the stainless steel brake line has already been installed in the car. I'm still waiting on a few parts from our hot rod supply, and I got to make a bracket to hold that line down right there. But let's show you a little bit about bending and flaring. Okay, before I flare our steel line, I'm going to go ahead and put the AN sleeve on, and then I got to file down the end so that no burrs, there are no burrs, and we won't get a split for our flare. Alright, we've got the end all filed down and deburred, and we've got it sitting in the flaring tool. Let's see what it looks like. We're all set up in the flaring tool, and then all I do to flare it is I'll go ahead and pull this lever. Let's see, we've got it set in there good, and then we're doing just a single flare on the fuel lines. Hey, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to make sure that all you know that when you do a brake line, you want to put a double flare in it for safety reasons. There's the flare. It came out real nice. Now, you've seen in the previous episode that I went ahead and mocked up all my stuff out of mild steel, and so I'm going to use that as a template to bend this. Okay, and what you can see here is we've got a 90-degree bend, and I go ahead and I place a mark on the tube right there, and that is 3 3/4 inches from the end of the flare. And so now I'll just go ahead and put a mark 3 3/4 inches from the end in that and put a 90 in our steel. Pretty basic and easy stuff. Okay, it's pretty basic and easy stuff, but then again, you don't want to mess up because this stuff isn't cheap. I put a little bit of lube in my bender and we'll give it a 90. And there it is. So I'll just follow this throughout the line, making my measurements and my bends the whole way down, and we'll pick it up from there. Okay, now we've got all our bends in, this piece of brake line here, we've got all our flares in, and now we have to anneal it. And what we're going to do is just take this simple propane torch and warm the areas until they're red hot and let them cool naturally. And that'll have the effect of making the metal less brittle. Seems how stainless steel is already a brittle metal by nature. When you bend it and flare it, it becomes more brittle, and therefore when you're driving down the road, it's going to want to tend to crack. And so we're gonna anneal it so that it'll be less likely to crack. Okay, and just let it cool naturally, and then we'll throw it on the polisher to get rid of the oxidation. Okay people, all the stainless lines are now installed, including our nifty little fuel filter. All the brake lines are in, and we went ahead and filled them with .5 silicone, and we bled them, and so far it's looking like we've got no leaks. I finished off my little bracket for the rear axle line. The last lines we have to run are the transmission cooler lines up to the radiator, but I'm waiting on the starter to make sure we have proper clearance. And we got a couple nice little billet brackets to go for those.
So, are we basically doing the old then? Tomorrow we're going to put the seats in it and finish a couple things?
It was really.
Me and Miller Nips got into it when I was a youngin'.
Nips?
Remember the Miller Nips?
So as you can see, we set the body down on the chassis. Now the car's gonna head up to the owners tomorrow where we can get the wiring put in, and then over to the engine builder and get it started up before it comes back here for final assembly. So luckily it won't be around here for a while. But as you can see, all the lines were put in, and it was a pretty good week. That's gonna do it for us here at Muscle Cars and Hot Rods. Be sure to tune in next week.